First off, congrats. Just how does it feel to put 6 up against Ohio State?
Go ahead, you first.
I mean, it feels great, obviously. We had a bunch of different people get goals tonight, so that's always a good thing when you have a lot of your attackers scoring. Obviously, like coming out against a good team like Ohio State, you're not expecting to score 6 goals, but we had a job tonight, and it was to prove something to everybody, and I think we got the job done.
Coach, you've talked all season about the depth and versatility of this team. Is this just a testament to that?
I think so. I think a couple things. I think one, our health has been in a really good place this season, and I think that's due to the depth because we played a lot of players early in the season. We settled more into a lineup once we got into the ACC, and we didn't sub quite as much and change, but every chance we got or we needed, we were able to put somebody else on that would do the job. And I think even tonight, I can't remember, with maybe 15, 20 minutes left, we were starting to clear the benches, and the group that finished was really good. On the field, we were still in control of the game with all the players. So the depth has been really, really key for us. And I think tonight you got a good look at that.
Coach, you received a number 7 seed coming into the tournament, 3 seeds lower than where you guys were last year. I mean, Does this win sort of as a testament to what kind of team you guys are and what you're letting the committee know how good you guys are?
I think so. I thought we were seeded too low. I didn't think it was a good seeding for us. But all season, I mean, my gosh, we were starting the season 14th in the country, and we won 6 games, and we dropped out of the top 25. So it's kind of was the norm for the season, and why we weren't getting the respect I felt like that we needed to get. You'd have to ask the committee that, I guess. But I don't think our players ever really thought about it. We didn't really talk about it with them as a staff. We just said, look, we play who's in front of us. If we're as good as we think we are, then if it's Ohio State, it's Ohio State. We'll go from there. So the players did a really good job of just keeping the focus, not letting those things, affect them.
You guys put up 6 and Arkansas put up 5 in their game that's you play next. Should they fear you more than you fear them?
Well, I think Arkansas, historically over the last 7 or 8 years, has been a top, team in the country, and I think they'll be very confident because they're at home. I doubt they will fear us from a standpoint of I think that we're still making our way on the national stage of people that really know Pitt soccer know how good we are, but I think a part of the country still don't really realize what we have here. It's going to be a game of really contrasting styles. I mean, they're just very direct and long ball, and we're more of a possessional-based team, and so it's going to be a real interesting matchup with them because I don't think they've played anybody like us this year, and I don't think we've played anybody like them the way they play. So it's going to be an exciting game for sure.
Landy, you obviously had a goal and 3 assists in an NCAA tournament game. First of all, how does that feel to have that? And second of all, did you expect that at all?
Definitely not. I think this season, honestly, I've struggled to get points in games that I thought that I should have. I come out of games where I thought I should have had a goal or a couple goals, a couple assists, and I end up coming out of the game with nothing. So it's definitely been a little bit of a frustration for me personally. Randy knows. So tonight, to kind of have some of them fall my way, it definitely feels good, and obviously just any way that I can help the team win in a game like this is important. And now we're getting to the point of the season where, for me as a 5th year, like every game could be my last. So to have a big impact in these games is like obviously the goal. You want to end on a good note. For me, this is my last home game, so definitely one that I'll remember for forever.
Coach, I mean, last season it was a lot of firsts for you guys, first ACC tournament, first NCAA tournament. Now it seems like you guys had that experience and tonight really showed. I mean, what have you seen from players not just like Landy, but the rest of the upperclassmen that have led this team so far this season?
Yeah, I think they just have grown up in their confidence. I think last year everything was new, and we were happy to be there, and we were riding the ride as long as we could. And I think this year the approach has been different because I think they have more experience and they're, I don't want to say mature in a way that implies that they're not mature young women, but I think they have had a maturity about them in the way they've approached the game where they just expect to win now, whereas I think last year there were still sometimes some games that we just hoped we would win. And I think now they're very confident. I mean, after the kind of matches we played with Carolina and with Florida State a couple of times, and Clemson and Notre Dame and the top teams in the country. I think they know that we can compete, with anybody. And the other thing, I mean, this group still has put together a lot of firsts. Even this year, based on getting a step farther in the ACC tournament than we did the year before. Tonight gave us 15 wins. I think that's the most win ever in our program's history. Undefeated at home. A great way for these seniors to leave our field is getting a win like this. So even though it's been a lot of firsts this year as well, I just think they've had a much more mature approach about it and confidence, and that's really been the important thing for us this season.
Coach,
Sorry, go ahead.
Coach, you held them to 3 shots on goals. They averaged coming to this game 6.89. What did you like that your defense did to limit them?
Well, I just think I think our defense this whole year really hasn't gotten the recognition that they probably have deserved, because we've been so good on the attacking side of things. But I think, between the job Ashton Gordon and Olivia Lee and Katie Zelski, and then really tonight, the others that we put on, they all did well. But I just think it's a really solid group defensively. And then I think Ellie Breach has been consistent for us all year, which is what we want her to be, and just do the things that we expect her to do, consistent. And so I think the back group has been consistent. I think Ellie Caulfield throws a little bit of a wrinkle in it because we drop her in the back sometimes, and then we step her into midfield at times. And I think that's been a big addition to the way we've started to play, with our back line. But I think for the most part, we've been really good defensively this year. I really can't think of, I'm sure there was a game somewhere along the way that I didn't think we were great back there. But, we really, probably after the Xavier lost, maybe heading into Cincinnati, and then after that weekend when we changed to the formation and the way we were playing, that's where things really picked up for us. And I think since that time we've been good defensively. So a lot of credit to those backs that don't get a lot of recognition.
Landy, when you guys came out and you saw just the huge crowd, what was your and your team's reaction to that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. We were talking about this yesterday, just how, like, when I first got here my first year, we weren't getting crowds like this at all. The only game that we got a crowd like this for was when North Carolina came to play us, and we knew everyone was just there because they were coming in to play us. And so now it's like this crowd is here for us, and that just feels good. And it's just a testament to the last 3 years, how much better we've gotten and how many more people are starting to recognize that. And then obviously for me personally, like, being from Pittsburgh, I had 30 people at the game here. I had 30 tickets to get tonight, so it was just awesome to see everyone and hear them during the game. And yeah, it's just really special. And I think all of us are very grateful that people are finally starting to kind of recognize and actually show up and buy tickets and come to the games consistently. It's just, it's a really cool atmosphere, and obviously it helps us because we are undefeated at home this year. So,
Coach, I mean, you've had 6 different goal scorers tonight. You've had one of the best attacks so far in the country this season. It must feel great to just be able to solidify that with a win tonight and having so many different people get on the score sheet.
It does, and I'm looking at the stats, and we had 15 shots, 10 on goal, and 6 goals. So that's a pretty clinical effort. We always talk about being more clinical in the attack, and tonight they were very good. The thing that makes me happy about it is we did have 6 different people score goals, and it's important because goal scorers feed off of scoring goals. And like Landy said earlier, when she doesn't get the goal or the assist, then she thinks she did, even though we think she played a good game, she thinks she didn't play a good game. So I think it's really important. And Amanda West is no different, and neither is Samaya and Sarah. And so it was good to see all of those guys get a goal. I thought really Deborah's goal to start us off was fantastic. She's probably one of the few players athletically that could take the ball in traffic with her back to the goal, take it off and spin and volley it in. So it felt great to have all of them have a piece, and not only goals and assists too. So, when we're firing on all cylinders, it's a handful for teams. And tonight, Ohio State caught us on a good night for sure.
For you both, how do you reset the mentality after such an impressive performance? And then I have a follow-up for Coach.
Yeah, definitely. Like we just said, we'll be traveling on Wednesday probably. So for us, it's sort of the same thing as it was last week when we played North Carolina, beat North Carolina. You know you have another big game coming up, and now obviously it's even bigger because our season's on the line with every game now. So I think it's just you sort of take tonight, tomorrow, enjoy it, recover, and then you have to turn around and just forget about it, honestly, and just focus on the next one. I'm sure our coaches will get busy with watching Arkansas and everything, getting the scout ready. But yeah, for players, you just enjoy it for tonight, for what it is, and then refocus tomorrow, focus on getting your body right, and then, yeah, all of our focus after that will be on Arkansas and just forgetting that this happened.
As one of the obviously larger print names throughout college soccer, when you look across that bracket and you see really a lack of competitive games and a lot of shutouts, you spoke about the committee earlier. What is the committee missing in terms of putting together a more competitive field?
Well, I really, when I looked at the brackets yesterday, and I don't know the results from tonight, but there were a couple. I think Penn State won a big game. Arkansas scored a lot of goals, and obviously us tonight. But the rest of them, I think, were actually relatively close games. So I really don't know because I don't know all the criteria. Otherwise, I would better understand why we were a 7th seed if I understood the committee's thought process a little bit. I do think maybe in our sport and probably some of the other Olympic sports, things still come down at times to money where you're trying to regionalize opponents and keep them close so there's not as much travel. To me, I would rather just be, if we're going to have a championship, let's open it up and pay and put the best teams where they belong and put the lower seeds traveling wherever that may be and not keeping matchups, regionally, because there were a few matchups that were really difficult first round matchups and second round matchups because of keeping things regionalized. So that would be the one thing I'd like to see us to do is not regionalize the competition just based on finances. And it's easy for me to say because I'm not paying for it. But yeah, but other than that, I really don't know what all went into it this year. I know there were some teams that were left out that had really good RPIs. South Alabama, I think, was a 27 RPI, and didn't even make the tournament, and I don't understand that. But but it happens in every sport, doesn't it? When the basketball comes out, it's the same thing. How did these teams get left out? And so there's always going to be that argument, and but I really probably don't know enough about what went into the selection criteria with the committee.